The academic.
Looking back through the CD, me and my apologies. We drive out too far, out to the country, and we get lost, and we get high to the mixtapes of our whole lives. We awaken when we're half there, with a cigarette in your long hair. And looking back on those days, you and your mistakes, me and my mixtapes. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. I'm trying to right these wrongs by playing you these songs. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. In my car, there's a CD, a mixtape of 2003. A better time for both of us, with skinny jeans and roll-ups. And we look back at a timeshare, yeah, it's long gone, and well, who cares? Well, I do, and I tell you, it's a comeback for now. And looking back on those days, you and your mistakes, me and my mixtapes. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. I'm trying to right these wrongs by playing you these songs. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. In my car is a CD, a mixtape of 2003. A better time for both of us, with skinny jeans and roll-ups. And looking back on those days, you and your mistakes, and me and my mixtapes. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. I'm trying to right these wrongs by playing you these songs. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel. Thank you very much. This is a song called Permanent Vacation. Did you find what you had before? Can you see what you want to ignore? Yes, there's no doubt about it. Can you buy what you can't afford? You waking up on the kitchen floor. Yes, there's no doubt about it. And no doubt about it. Trying to figure out who you're supposed to be. Well, how'd you find yourself if you never leave? I live my whole life in a fantasy, and I'm about to let go. And what's my motivation? You see so much more than you could see before it's a permanent vacation. I'm willing to learn, but I won't wait my turn. And what's my motivation? Whoa, leave this permanent vacation. her out of time. You spent your money and you know it's a crime. Yes, there's no doubt about it. So giving up, but you don't know why. You kiss goodbye to the summer. Yes, there's no doubt about it. And no doubt about it. You're trying to figure out who you're supposed to be. Well, how'd you find yourself if you never leave? I live my whole life in a fantasy, and I'm about to let go. What's my motivation? You see so much more than you could see before it's a permanent vacation. I'm willing to learn, but I won't wait my turn. What's my motivation? Whoa, to leave this permanent vacation. Whoa, to leave this permanent vacation. Oh, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And I said, oh, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And what's my motivation? You see so much more than you could see before it's a permanent vacation. I'm willing to learn, but I won't wait my turn. What's our motivation? Whoa, to leave this permanent vacation. Whoa, leave this permanent vacation. Thank you.
BT Young Scientists and Technologists for 2016 are Maria Louise Furfazan and Diane Burra from Loretto Secondary School in Balbriggan in Dublin.
Alrighty, the time has come. Can you please give a huge BT YSTE welcome to Aidan Power and Roisin Neathamon.
Let's do it. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? You excited? I can tell you we are. It's a great pleasure of Roisin and mine to welcome ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, our students here to the RDS in Dublin, to the opening ceremony of the BT Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition for 2017. And while you're cheering and while you're clapping, I believe we are live on Facebook at the moment. So let's say hello to everyone who's watching us on Facebook Live. I don't know where the cameras are, so just wave crazily and cheer. I'm sure there's many envious people tuned in watching this afternoon. And also as well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thanks to The Academic. How good are The Academic? One of Ireland's great bands. I point, they're not there. They are backstage though, and they're going to be back on stage very shortly to entertain us.
Aidan once auditioned for the band, but failed to get in, which was a pity, Aidan, because I think you'd look really good with the lads out there.
Shut up.
He's such a talent. Ambassadori Aghini Ushla, agus Shipsha Lugan Shaw and Ya, we're gate fought Shahigan Okod's fear special to Shaw. It's more an honour Romsa, and Shaw a good le Aidan and Ya. This is the 53rd BT Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition, and it is the 17th year that BT have sponsored and organised this event. So it's going strong, guys.
Indeed it is. Now, let's tell you what's going to be happening, I guess, over the next few minutes. There's a whole lot of great things going to be happening over the next few days. But for the next while, here at the opening ceremony, we're going to meet some very special guests, and we're also going to preview one or two of the very special acts that are going to be taking place in the RDS over the next few days as well.
As well as that, we've two very special VIPs here today. They are the current BT Young Scientists and Technologists. They are Maria Louise Fufazan and Diana Burra. And we're going to hear all about the year they've had. They've had an absolutely epic year, the girls. We were chatting to them earlier. Achar dús, Boalam, fall to war, achar, riv. Uachtar on the Heron, Michael D. O'Higgin, and he is joined by the MD of BT in Ireland, Shay Walsh.
Good job.
Well, Kunna Satashiv, Wichigama, how are we all doing? Well, you're all very welcome. Fáilte Rob Galer. Welcome, President, Ambassador Barnett, Ministers English, Mitchell O'Connor, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and the main event, the superstars here, the BT Young Scientists 2017. You're all very welcome. Now, it probably didn't deserve a clap, but thank you anyway. My name is Shay Walsh, and for the next 4 days, along with 200 of the best and finest BT Ireland staff, I'm going to host the event today. One also welcome to, we have some distinguished visitors here, overseas visitors from Tanzania, United Arab Emirates and Denmark, to see how this event is put together. So would like to put your hands together to welcome them as well, please. So, I've got two jobs in a short while. I'll just tell you a little bit what to expect over the next few days, and we'll have a little bit of chat about what's going to happen. So we'll talk about that. But firstly, I'd like you to join me to welcome to the podium to give us the opening address of the BT Young Scientists and Technology 2017 exhibition, Uachtar on the Heron, President Michael D. Higgins.
Gwini Uga Ari, Ahalior, young people, ministers, ambassador, Isínta gan rada go bhfuil sean sam labhairt arís ag ascailt an teaspántas seo. Tá áthas ar a bhein se le bheith an teaspántas am heicnoliacht agus ólas óig 2007 agus is mínlam sibhar fada bhaile a ólas a heicnoliacha óga atá an seo I Gomanria Gabalia. May I just say, I have had the privilege of giving the opening address to the Young Technology and Scientists exhibition for a couple of years now. Last year I was just looking at what I said and how it appeared, and I haven't deteriorated too much in the 12 months. But I enjoy it very much for what it offers us, both as a comment on the present and particularly for the possibilities for the future. I've often used the phrase "na féidirachtaí gan teorann atá ann," the infinite possibilities that are there for the realization. And I'm very glad that you gave such a warm reception to Academic. They have a great sound, and I'm very happy to have been able to listen to it. And I hope this is a good occasion for yourselves to make a commitment to support young Irish music and young Irish music makers, and to ask those who play music to give them the hearing that they deserve. I'm absolutely delighted then to be here at the Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition 2017 and to have an opportunity of paying tribute to the young scientists and technologists, their teachers, their families, and all those who have supported them, and very particularly to those who have supplied patronage to this wonderful exhibition of Irish talent for more than 17 years now. The projects, this morning I got the list of the full 550. Now every year when I finish, I go around and look at a few stands and a few projects. And I always say, and I mean it, that I wish I had the opportunity of looking at all 550. But I look at a few. But as I went through the list, it was just so important. And the first thing I want to do is to congratulate all of the 550 here, and indeed all of those that more than 3,000 who submitted and so forth, for their curiosity about life, about their capacity to be able to combine different aspects of science and the environment to produce their projects. Every now and again, a good phrase becomes a bit of a cliche, such as thinking outside the box. The fact of the matter is that in all the schools who have produced projects and in the settings from which the projects have come, people have been thinking beyond any one particular discipline for a very, very long time. The opening of the Young Scientists, you see, is an occasion that has become synonymous with the start of the new year in Ireland. And it's a very good way to start the year, to celebrate creativity, to celebrate croiacht, as we say in Irish, which is a beautiful word. And indeed, there are many projects I'm so glad to see, from Scoileanna an Gaeltacha agus ó Gaeltachtaí an Tírseo. What better way to mark a new beginning to 2017 than with an illustration of the possibility that exists for each generation to bring into being that which was formerly unconceivable by another generation, the capacity to create and to build anew and to imprint their own singular patterns upon foundations that have been given to them by previous generations of scientists and inventors. I recently was paying tribute to perhaps one of our greatest public servants, Dr. T.K. Whitaker, and in the course of it I said that one of the characteristics of his life was that you didn't have to make narrow choices. You can in fact be interested in both economics and ethics, and you can be interested in culture and science. And as President of Ireland, it gives me so much pleasure to see the wide range of curiosity that exists in our schools, and those wonderful teachers who encourage those who are exhibiting in technology and science in its different areas here to actually bring their projects into being. 53 years have elapsed since the very first Young Scientist exhibition was held in January 1965 in Dublin's Mansion House. That's the year, indeed, when Sean Lamass had his first meeting, made his first visit to Northern Ireland, and which Dr. Whittaker was so involved. John McGahern published his second novel, The Dark, which was immediately seized and banned by the government of the day as being unsuitable reading. Things have changed. And I think, as well as that, the Ireland in which you are now, which is very interesting, has all these capacities, both in terms of science and technology. But what has impressed me since I became president and had my consultation with young people is the powerful ethical framework that young people want their science and technology to be involved in. That's why looking across the whole range of the projects that were submitted, they're interested in their local environment, they're interested in sustainability, in climate change, issues of health, issues of hunger, issues of all of the things that are affecting our contemporary world. And what I think is wonderful is the enthusiasm that is shown by the Irish students and the Irish public for the imagination and inventiveness of the Young Scientist exhibition. Because it had to move from the Mansion House, its original location, to the RDS. And this year, there are 2,091 project entries. And the attendance exceeds 50,000 visitors annually. And they will all look at your work, and they will all be, as I am, impressed by its qualities. It is one of the largest events of its kind in Europe, if not in the world. And I do very, very much congratulate BT for their association with it. I think that, why is it so successful? Well, I think that that's a tribute to the vision of those who set it up in the first place, and to those who have supported it throughout these 5 decades. I have thanked BT already, the main sponsor and organisation of the exhibition, for 17 years. And I salute the 200 employees whose volunteering contributes to ensuring that the Young Scientist exhibition is a source of inspiration and support to new generations and scientific talent. May I say one other word about, particularly to the young people, what gives people of my age hope, and my absolute conviction that you will succeed in delivering science and technology in a way my generation and previous generations have failed. Because you are concerned about the environment, you are concerned about sustainability, and you are concerned about social justice. And the very first man who had the idea of setting up the Young Scientist exhibition in the beginning wanted the results of science and technology to go to all over the planet, to where they can be a benefit without borders to all those who would benefit from them. And I want to pay tribute to your teachers, and I want to pay tribute to the schools. It's very interesting that where you have an enthusiastic teacher, you'll see the projects coming from that school again and again. And year after year, it is their encouragement and guidance that's a driving force behind a great display of science and creativity. And I can tell you, there's no way these projects would come if they were coming from some kind of schedule of 9 to 5 or a working day. The work is put into them outside of the school, in the environment, with cooperation and enormous commitment. And the parents who've supported you and who are rightly deeply proud of what you have achieved. I want to congratulate each and every one of you whose work is exhibited here in the RDS. And I've no doubt at all that your participation in the Young Scientist exhibition will be an unforgettable experience for all of you. When I looked at it first, when my long time in public life, and I used to see people coming from the train with all the bits and pieces for the setup. And I also saw them going home at the end of the Young Scientist exhibition. But it is a wonderful experience to be here. And it's a great opportunity to meet other people, your contemporaries who are sharing your experience, and to be able to be inspired by them. So my wish for you is that it be a milestone on your path as students and perhaps as future scientists and researchers. When I looked across the different categories, and I hope government will be very pleased with this, the high standard in chemical, physical and mathematical areas, the technological applications, the biological and ecological projects, the social and behavioral projects. They're all of an extraordinarily high standard. And if you wanted to advertise the capacity of Ireland into the future, you would just take these projects and show them to the world. And so many former participants in the Young Scientists exhibition have indeed gone on to achieve success. And those of you who will have maybe decided to follow on in science, you'll be joining predecessors last year, other years, and I think that is a discipline that is extraordinarily important. And your particular version of it, as is revealed in the projects, is that you're interested in it being located in the benefit of for the benefit of humanity. And there's great bit of enjoyment in it as well. You will have seen a new van on your way in, 171 MH1. Now, the people who own that van are too young to drive the van, but they have 5 employees, and they export their product to 12 different countries abroad. And it's about equine welfare, horses. And the horses are grateful as well, because a very significant number, nearly half those who won in Leopardstown, are using their product. So therefore, I think what it is wonderful to see is that after the Young Scientist exhibition is over, many of them stay in touch with me, and they tell me their stories of success, and it's absolutely difficult. You might think it very bizarre now, a few years ago, to read on the program, could Mars bars make a horse run faster? Now, leaving the Mars side of it out of it, what's in the bars did, and I think it's been very, very successful. So my wish for you as well is that you enjoy it all in the same ways you enjoyed the music, of being alive at this time and being able to share your knowledge with people of your own age and from different, and sending it out onto different continents, as I've said, for the global common good. Technology transfer is one of the difficulties we are encountering in relation to the capacity to eliminate world hunger, to create, within 20 years' time, the continent of Africa will have 24% of the population of the world. We need to take the boundaries away from sending technology and science into the achievement of the global goals. And I wish that your view of the world and your view of how curiosity is important, being able to go across disciplines, make new products for the benefit of humanity, I wish it was shared all over the world, because scientific and technological knowledge have such a vital role in not just making individuals rich, but in making our world responsible. And you have, as I went through the list, addressed all of these issues: ecological challenges, as I've said, climate change, and the loss of biodiversity, the pollution of our air, water, and soil, hunger, malnutrition, infant mortality, pandemics, afflictions that shatter the lives of millions of men and women across the world. They all feature in your projects. And there's so much that humanity could gain in so many ways if it was allowed to flourish. If the appalling waste of the possibilities of science and technology were deflected from the goals of war and the armaments industry. At this time in 2017, you are the generation that will be able to say, we want science and technology in the service of humanity, not in the service of destruction of our planet and its people. And I think as well, as somebody who has visited Africa and South America and Asia, I see so many of these projects as flourishing and blossoming in the areas to which they will make such a huge difference. The projects that are on exhibition here show a willingness as well to something else, not to be bounded by the notion that you should just imitate something, but that you should bring something new into existence. And then also as well as that science is not abstracted or irrelevant. Science is hard work, and it yields good results. It requires abilities that you have developed, Mathematics, for example, which is so strong this year, but also in all the practical areas, renewable energies, recycling, alternative fuel sources. And then other things as well, taking waste coffee grounds, for example, all of this. I'm so pleased to see so many of you are interested in bees and honey and sustaining all of these forms of life. The projects as well, they will always have wonderful new names as one year after another. The nomophobia, the people who are trying to deal with the angst of dealing with of not having your phone. The no mobile phone phobia. That features this year in a number of projects. And then, of course, there are a whole lot of musical references I'm sure actually that academic will be aware of them. It's a long time since we heard the song, the answer is blowing in the wind. But it's true, it's necessary again. A significant number of your projects have titles that are quite poetical. I think that, and it's very important, I think it would be a great mistake to view science in any way different from the imagination of the artist or the preoccupations of the philosopher. I'm convinced myself that everybody would gain in Ireland if philosophy was taught in Irish schools. I've said that before on World Philosophy Day. And I see it as quite consistent with a World Science Day. It's doing all of these things together because you're interested in them, and there are, as I said, endless possibilities. I want to finish by saying something that Dr. Genevieve Bell said, Vice President of Intel, giving a speech recently at the Other Voices Festival in Dingle in County Kerry. Dr. Bell is interesting. She's an anthropologist by training. And she suggested that anyone studying technology would benefit from studying poetry in college, a discipline that heightens imaginative power, as well as demanding a thorough command of patterns and symbolic language. You could say the same thing in relation to computer science and also in relation to music. Genevieve Bell praised the virtues of philosophy, inviting us to reflect critically on the relationships between humans and technology. She observed that the large technology companies all have philosophers and artists now sitting on in their boardrooms at the highest level. And that's where you're going. It is worth remembering the deep connections that exist between art, science, and technology. And the artists and the scientists, they're not just sharing words and concepts, but new ways of unlocking problems and of looking at the endless possibilities of natural and artificial life. I think as well, it's very important to know that every now and again when people are stuck for a name to put on something, while writing a play, for example, one particular famous science fiction author, Karl Kapchik, was writing, and he said he struggled to come up with an adequate word to describe his humanoid creations. He turned to his brother Joseph, a poet who suggested roboti, a term derived from the old Slavonic robota, meaning servitude, which means labor in several Slavic languages. And in the same way, Professor Stoney, Irish scientist George Johnston Stoney, it was he who coined the term electron, but it was James Joyce who gave the word quark its spelling in a line in Finnegan's Wake. Now, Joyce mightn't have been aiming intentionally at that. He mightn't have been, in fact, involved in particle physics. But it illustrates the wealth of the sources that shape the way that we are, the way that we see, the way we understand and talk about science. Dear students, your supporters, ambassadors, ministers, friends, parents, when I look at the astonishing variety and originality of the projects you've undertaken, drawing inspiration from the world around you, establishing connections between different subjects and areas of knowledge. I remember myself when I was very young down in County Clare, and you put something together, and a neighbour would say, "What sort of a contraption was that?" And it's a brilliant word, contraption. There should be lots more contraptions where people feel free, as you have, when I look across the 550, to take all the different elements and say, there is nothing that is impossible. The astonishing variety and originality of the project you've undertaken, taking response from what surrounds you, asking, for example, that new tools of communication would be used for the sustenance of human beings and their welfare and happiness rather than abuse. I feel confident that you will know how to use this wealth of imaginative talent to foster human development, ecology, harmony, and peace. And you know, people will say to you, what's beautiful about it all, and I finish on this, is that you don't just have people, the 50,000 who'll come through here, and they'll say to you, you could make a fortune out of that. They'll say to you, it's beautiful what you have been imagining, and beautiful what you're creating. And it's most important of all, your willingness to share it with the world. Is inta kan privileges om hein mar uktrana heren, a hen sha goluder iatsan, na dini oga, a willen fjallsen och the willen fisha aka. Is gwyn ga gragas banak, der gagrug da megar stuliki, dan tawaki. I have no doubt whatsoever that you will all benefit from this, and those who support you can be so proud. On the Varshan, it is with the greatest pleasure I declare the Young Scientist Exhibition of 2017 open. Garamila Mahaki, thank you.
Gurv Mila Mágat Uachtarán, the Gordon Orad Aintuk Shin, Gurv Mila Mágat. Now, quick show of hands. Those of you who've been here before, worn the t-shirt, been here, yeah, hands up. About 4 or 5, is there? And hands up who haven't been here before and it's your first time. Right, a lot more, okay, right. Now, that would be perfectly understandable that you're probably a little bit nervous and anxious, okay? And that's perfectly natural, but I'm just going to give you a few reasons as to why you need to relax and enjoy the next few days, because they're going to be the best days of your life. You will remember these days forever. Number one is, as the President said, this is the highest number of applications, submissions of projects we've ever had. Nearly 2,100 projects submitted this year. And we only got room for 550 exhibits. Now, you're all good mathematicians. You'll probably know that statistically then it's harder to get in this year than it has ever been. So that by logical conclusion then means that you are the best BT Young Scientist Technology Exhibition year that we've ever had. So give yourselves a round of applause. You're already winners, okay? Now, people get fearful of the judging. You'll be judged 3 times. Don't worry about the judging at all. The judges aren't here to catch you out. They're not here to find out what you don't know and shine a torch in your eyes and laugh at you, right? They're here to sit down with you and understand your project. And that will happen 3 times. And as that process goes, you'll get more and more confident about the details and communicating your project. So just relax about that. That's going to be a great experience towards the end of that. So judging is going to be a doddle for you, okay? Don't worry about that. The second thing is you are the main attraction here. You're the superheroes. There's, as the President said, there could be up to 60,000, depending on the weather, could be up to 60,000 people coming through the doors of the RDS coming to see you. You are the main attraction. So think about that, and maybe when you're going back to your families or back to your school friends, say, yeah, 60,000 people paid in to see me. What about you, yeah? So you can go back and say that. So enjoy that experience. And then there's going to be plenty of downtime. It's not just going to be judging and that. There's going to be plenty of downtime, and there's plenty of time to enjoy yourselves, to socialize with and make new friends as well. So it's really important that you do that. There's going to be quizzes, there's going to be discos, you're going to be invite only, the most exclusive nightclub in D4, in fact all of Ireland. You're going to be invited to that, and that's going to be next door here as well. So you're going to really enjoy that. And just imagine, in 2 days' time, we're going to be sitting here, I'm going to be standing here, and one of you sitting out there, or maybe a group of you out there, will be the BT Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition 2017. So one of you could be that. So give it your best, give it your all, relax, enjoy yourself. This is going to be great, okay? Now, I've got a few thank yous to make. Number one is our sponsors. We couldn't do this ourselves. Although we put BT not just sponsor, but we also organise this event. But we couldn't do this without our sponsors, RTE, who've given us great coverage this week, Perigo, Intel, Analog Devices, and also Department of Education and Skills in the Republic of Ireland, and indeed the Department of Education in Northern Ireland. So please, can you show your appreciation for their sponsorship? Thank you. And the most important group to thank you, you can probably see them if the house lights go up. You can see all the people in the red coats. These are the, yeah, that's it, give them a wave, lads and lassies. Okay, so these are really important people, and there's some blue coats as well. The blue coats are the ones who are going to escort your judges to your judging. The red coats are there. They're there for your health and safety, and they're going to help you through the week. But please, follow their instructions. But if they have any issues, anything you want to ask them, please ask them. They're the people you have to be really, really nice to, okay? So round of applause to the red coats. So, by the way, these red coats, this is not their job, right? Their job during the day is by they're mild-mannered accountants, field engineers, project managers, planners, salespeople. So this is not their day job, but for this 4 days, their job is taken very, very seriously, and they're going to do a great job. So thanks to Redcoats. Now, one last thing before I let you go. This morning we announced, and so it's reasonably fresh off the presses, that BT is going to continue its sponsorship of the BT Young Science and Technology Exhibition to at least 2020. So if you're back here, if you fancy another go at this next year, you're going to have us as your sponsors. And finally, just as a token of appreciation, President, for coming here, and a memento of the day, we'd like to present you with a token of our appreciation. Thank you, President. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That has been painted by Katie Maeve Williamson from Wexford, so it gives us momentum. It actually has a picture of the President there giving us his speech. So without further ado, I'll hand it back to Aidan Roisin, and enjoy the rest of the 4 days, and we'll see you on Friday. Okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Shay. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, please, as they leave the stage, give a very warm and rousing reception for President Michael D. Higgins and MD of BT in Ireland, Shay Walsh. President Higgins, thank you so much. Thank you. Such encouraging words. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a flavour of some of the shows that you're going to see throughout the week. Well, one in particular, which we hope is going to entertain and perhaps blow your mind. He's been with us before, and delighted to welcome him back with his ultimate science show. Will you please welcome James Soper? Hey, James.
Wow, thank you. That's a tough act to follow. Guys, thank you so much for having us here. It's great to be back.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Now, can we leave you?
No, I need some help. Could I borrow you for just a couple of seconds? Is that all right?
I was just going to say he has a beautiful assistant this year, and that is Mr. Aidan Power.
Why me? You need me.
Absolutely. The first thing you're going to need to do is put those specs on. Not that this is dangerous.
Is this dangerous?
It's almost entirely safe.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why
if you could hold on to that for me. Just hold the bucket. What we've got in here is...
Why is it making that noise?
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. What we've got in here is one of the chemicals that we're going to be investigating in the ultimate science show that I'll be performing in the arena. I don't mess about with that stuff. It really is quite... Well, let's show them what's going on here. What's inside? It's a liquid...
Do you know what this is?
It's a liquid that's incredibly cold. Perhaps we could get everybody to do something. On a count of 3, would you all breathe in for me? 1, 2, 3, and breathe out. Right, 4/5, 78% of everything you just breathed in was a gas called nitrogen. 78% of everything you just breathed out was nitrogen. If you can take that nitrogen gas and freeze it to minus 196 degrees centigrade, you can turn it into a liquid. You okay there?
Yeah.
It's just incredibly cold. You guys can see this is boiling under the heat of our lights. We can chuck it down on the stage. As soon as it hits the floor, it bubbles and it boils away. What we're basically doing is taking liquid air and turning it back into the nitrogen that's in the air around us. Let's pour some in here.
See the way you have a glove and I don't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be fine, don't worry.
Okay.
We're not going to get you too close. So you should be able to see this is boiling away because this jar is about 230 degrees centigrade hotter than our liquid nitrogen. If I cover the top, you can see how quickly this stuff turns back into a gas. Eventually, we're going to get so much in here that we might be able to explode our balloon.
I think you're on the wrong side there, Roshi.
Block my ear.
He's like, whoa! Bloody hell.
That was loud.
You're going to give us a warning. I'm trying not to spill this, and you're frightening me.
Fine. So come and see the Ultimate Science Show during the week. What I'm going to do, I'll leave you one more thing. You guys, we've got air around us. We've just turned the liquid air into gas air. Let's do it in reverse. Oh, donuts, the hardest thing on stage is blowing up a balloon.
Roisin will do that for you. Whoa, 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 steady, steady.
I didn't get
I want her to,
Always the innuendo.
I don't want to leave her out.
Yeah.
I've got no idea why they're laughing.
Me neither.
So what we've done is we've taken the gas air that's around us, we filled it with the, we put it into the balloon, and all we're going to do is exactly what we've done, just in reverse.
Oh.
So I'm going to poke this into here, and thank you so much for your help. Hopefully you'll be able to come and see the show throughout this week. And you guys should be able to see pretty quickly our balloon is getting smaller. We're not letting any of the gas out of here. All we're doing is cooling it down. As we cool it down, it stops being a gas. It reduces in volume by about 700 times. I don't want to get my fingers in this. Let's try and poke it all in. All of that gas becomes a liquid, and we'll poke it in here. That large balloon disappears down. And I don't know whether you can hear that. The balloon's actually become quite crunchy. So what we'll do is we'll finish by just hoiking this out of here, and then we'll show these guys what happens. So come and see the show, Ultimate Science Show. We've got loads of exciting things, sponsored by smartfutures.ie. You'll be hearing lots about that during our presentation. So we'll take this out, make this our last demo.
How the? Oh, now I'm impressed.
Amazing.
That normally gets a round of applause.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you so
I'll
much
kindly
for your
give
help.
that back, James.
See you later in
James
the week.
Soper, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Do you know what, Aidan? The glasses suit you. You should leave them on.
Sorry?
It makes
Oh, yeah,
you
I
look
still have these things
really
on.
intellectual.
Yeah, and I can't see anything either. Right, that was fun, wasn't it? All right, look forward to see James and lots of the other shows that are going to be here throughout the week. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this time last year, sat right where you guys are, were two girls who, only a few days after that, ended up on this stage being crowned the BT Young Scientist and Technologist for 2016. They've had some year, and they're here to tell us all about it. So, will you please welcome from the Loreto College in Balbriggan, Maria Louise Furfazan and Diane Bura. Thank you.
Hello, ladies.
Maria, Diane, welcome back.
How are you, girls? Is it nice to be doing that walk again a year later?
Yeah, definitely.
Not as crazy this time.
Yeah. No, but the emotions are there.
The
same one.
emotions are there. Good to be back. It's great to see you as well. So let's talk about the year you had. One of the things, as part of being the winners last year, was you got to go to the UK. What did you do there?
Well, we went to the Williams F1 racing headquarters, which was really cool. We also visited the Oxford University, and we went to see Shakespeare as well.
Wow, very
Great time.
cultured.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Formula One cars. Did you get to race them?
Oh, they're so awesome. No, we didn't get to race them, but we got to sit in one, and they're so cool, yeah.
You got to sit in one?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Is it true that a Formula One car can drive upside down? I believe it is, because of the speed they go and the downforce and that they're so light. Yeah, you didn't learn that, did you? I'm not going to ask you about Shakespeare then.
Aidan Power giving lessons as he goes along. Now, girls, of course, you went to the European Union contest. How was that? Was that an amazing experience for you?
That was amazing. It was probably one of our major highlights of the entire year and our entire Young Scientist experience. It was just so great to be able to present our project, which we also developed, and it was just such an amazing experience. We got to talk to so many different people from so many different countries, and it was just overall an unbelievable experience.
Now, how do we compare to the other countries in Europe?
Oh, we don't compare. We're awesome. We're honestly, we are the best. Like, we used to go around showing everyone from different countries the way the BT Young Scientist in Ireland is run, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you guys, your one is so much bigger and better than yours, than theirs." And no, our one is definitely better.
All right, that's good to hear.
Now, Maria, Louise, what would be your advice for the people sitting out there? As Aidan said, you were here this time last year. What would you tell them to go and do over the next few days?
Yeah, we can definitely relate. I remember we were really, really nervous because we knew how big the competition was. And I think one of the things that we would emphasize on this year that we didn't really do last year was talking to people and going around and looking at what other students your age are coming up with, because that's the most inspirational thing that you will experience this week. So make the most of it.
All right, sound advice. We like that. And we know as well that since you've won, even in your own school and in other schools, you've gone on to inspire many students. Some perhaps are even here.
Yeah, one of the really cool things that we actually got to do throughout the entire year was we got to go around to different primary schools and inspire the different young students to pursue a passion for science and technology, and an area that they're mostly afraid of because they haven't heard of it that often. And actually, a lot of the primary schools that we went to talk to are now in the primary section competing as well, so that's pretty cool.
Wow, brilliant.
Now, finally, before you go, girls, what does the future hold for the 2E? What are your plans now after such a busy year?
Oh, that's a really tough question. Definitely getting really good grades in the Leaving Cert, and then going on and pursuing a science career.
Science, it would be a natural thing, yeah?
Yeah. Not just because we won BT, but just the preparation for the project, and even for Europe. It was so enjoyable that we know we want to do science.
Okay. And keeping your feet on the ground too, which is good to hear. All right, thank you so much for being back with us this year. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 BT Young Scientists and Technologists, Maria and Diane. Thank you very much. Thanks guys.
Girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now it is time for an act that is literally going to light up your world. Can you give a warm round of applause for Laserman from Fawcett Circus?
Laserman!
We are right here, between past and future. You have the power to create a new world. Live the freedom of this new world. Welcome to Wico. Welcome to Wico.
Drop it!
Laser Man.
Is that it? Yeah? Okay. All right, good job, Laser
Wasn't that
Man.
fantastic?
Laser Man. Has that got you in the mood for the disco? Yeah, not yet. Bit of work to be done, but in the meantime, a tremendous amount of fun to be had. As we know, a couple of you have been here before. You know what's ahead of you. For those who don't, embrace it, live in the moment, enjoy it. Huge amount of the hard work is done. It's time to have some fun.
Exactly. And who's coming back on stage, Aidan? The Academic?
Yes, the Academic are back. So we will see you back on this stage Friday when we'll be handing out a couple of awards and crowning the BT Young Scientists and Technologists for 2017. We wish you all the very best of luck. Now, let's bring them back out. They've supported bands like 21 Pilots and Codaline, one of the biggest bands of 2016. No doubt 2017 will be even better. They are just brilliant and even better live, as you well know by now. Please welcome the Academic. Have a great week, folks. See you Friday.
She said, give me a call sometime. If you don't, I'll call you every night. So she's got a lot to say for Saturday night's getaway. Alright, don't try and play it cute, you see. It's been a long, long road to 23. So text me when you get in. Can you hide another sin? And she said sometimes you're gonna get what you're looking for, but not all the time. And can you let this slip? Come on, I'll let this slip. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you don't wanna know. Sometimes you gotta laugh it off. Alright. Trying to take this back for Sunday morning's heart attack, and not a single word was true. No, I can't believe I nearly fell for you. So pour me another coffee. It's a long, long road to drive. And honey, would you mind awfully if we let this slip? Come on, I'll let this slip. And sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you don't wanna know. Sometimes you gotta laugh it off. Alright. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you don't wanna know. Sometimes you gotta laugh it off. She won't apologize until she knows where you've been. And she said all the time, can you let this slip? Come on, I'll let this slip. Oh. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you don't wanna know. Sometimes you gotta laugh it off. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you don't wanna know. Sometimes you gotta laugh it off. So give me a call sometime. If you don't, I'll call you every night. And don't try and play it cute. It's been a long, long road to 22. All right, thank you very much, really, Academic. Best of luck in the competition. This is a song called Different. I wait up to see a face I've had enough, and now I'm out of the race. 'cause you're comfortable in my room, trying to hold